Hey everyone, so here we are for the last tutorial of the year. That sounds really weird when you say it like that. And I know this is going to be a shock, but I'm actually going to do a Christmas look today. Wow. Okay, so hopefully the lighting's a little bit better today because I've actually changed where I'm sitting so that the light's hitting my face, and I've put the overhead light on. So let me know if that's better, and also let me know if there's anything in particular that you want to see in the new year, or whether I should just continue with what I've been doing. So I'm just going to go ahead and put on my eye primer. I'm just going to use a blending sponge for this that I haven't dampened down yet. Okay. Hopefully I can see what I'm doing here. I made sure that I was sitting right next to my makeup mirror, but then I realised that it's actually facing the other way. So yeah, that's great. Might just grab the little one out just so I can check that I'm doing okay. Yep, that's alright. I didn't want to have like a big blob of primer in one area and not anywhere else, if that makes sense. Now if you don't have a specific eye primer, you can always use foundation or concealer. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, a little bit not so great there. Okay, so the look that I'm going to be doing today is an open cut crease. I don't know if that's the technical name for it. That's just what I call it, because you're creating a cut crease, but you're leaving this section here open. So I just call it that. Now, because we're going to want those straight lines here, we're going to tape up like if you've watched my videos before, like I usually do, because everyone says to me, how do you have such a steady hand? How do you get those straight lines? And I'm like, well, I don't have a steady hand. It's about the tape, you know. So I'll just grab some. Put that over there. I actually have to pack away all my makeup today, sad face, so that I can have room on my dining table to put Christmas stuff, you know. Okay, so that's fairly good. Alright, so the reason why I decided to do this Christmas look today is because I've got like all reds and stuff like that. Plus during the week I actually got this really great new glitter that's called the Santa collection, and it's all Christmas colours. So I thought, you know what, I'll just do it. I'll just do it. It doesn't matter. Okay. So for anyone who wants to know, this is the Revolution Beauty Forever Flawless Midnight Rose palette, which came out in last year's Halloween collection, I believe. So I'm just going to grab a fairly neutral colour, and I'm just going to dust it over the whole eyelid as like a base shade. And I think I'm going to go for this colour here. You can see it's a neutral, but it's got like a light pink tinge to it. So I'm just going to do that. Actually, you can see the colours this time, so that's really good. It'll be good too when I start getting the bright colours on. Just hopefully it translates onto the video. Now let's see how I'm going. Okay. So as you can see, with that base shade, I'm just taking it right up to the underneath of the eyebrow. And I'm just brushing it across the whole eye area. Now this one, oh, that was a bit skew-whiff, doesn't matter, we can deal with it. And I'm even like taking it right up here onto my forehead. Hello kitty, what you doing? I've got a little cat watching what I'm doing. She's like, oh my god, you humans are so weird, you know? Okay, so we're just going to press that in to the eye area. Right down there into the corner and up this way. Just going to press some more over this side. It's just looking a little bit sparse. Okay, so now we're going to pick our first colour. And I was thinking about black because, you know, I've always got to have it. But you know what? This is a Christmas look. So I'm thinking I better go in with like some deep reds. So my darkest red is probably this one down here called Blush. So we're going to go with that. Ooh, nice colour. So what we're going to do, sorry, I'm just kind of struggling a bit here. I'm going to pat or press the colour into the shape of my orbital bone. As you can see it curving around there. But I'm only going to do it across to halfway, like I would be if I was doing a half cut crease. So I'm just going to press the colour in. And then I'm just going to run my brush along it just to soften it out a bit. Just like so. I hope you can see that really well. Now I'm just going to, actually this might work, mightn't it? Because if I put this down here with the mirror, the camera's actually above it and then you can see what I'm doing, but I can also see what I'm doing in the mirror. That's a bit ingenious, isn't it? Sometimes I have really good ideas. So I'm just doing the exact same on the other side. Pressing the colour along the orbital bone. Or the eye socket, if you like. And just softening. So now we're going to grab, I've got a definite lack of brushes at the moment. The struggle is real. I don't know. I'm just going to actually go and see if I can find some more brushes and I'm just going to be back shortly. Okay, so I've gone and found another brush because I really like to have a separate brush for each colour, just so that I get the true colour, if that makes sense. Oh, I've just touched the cursor. Oh, so now I'm going to go in with this really bright red over here, which is actually called Rose, conveniently enough. And I'm just going to press or pat that colour, or pack the colour, above that deeper red that we did a minute ago. And I'm taking it right up to my eyebrow. Like that. I hope you can see that. Just a bit more. And I'm just softening it out. Don't worry if you get it like down here and everywhere like that, because that's why I do eyeshadow before I do my foundation and my face and stuff like that, because then all of that gets covered over. Do you know what I mean? Someone's messaging me. Who is it? Nobody. Okay. So I'm just going to grab my befores brush and I'm just going to layer in some more of the darker colour in here, just so that we get that differentiation and like the definition, I think is what I meant. Bit more. Okay, so maybe I should have used the black. Anyway, doesn't matter now. Which colour? This one. I nearly switched up my colours then. So let's just put this here like I had it before, so that you can see what I'm doing and that I can see what I'm doing. Just pat that in there, right along there, and right up to the eyebrow. Oops, wrong one. Again. Okay, so I'm just softening again. And now I'm just going to go back in with the darker colour, like I did before, and just create a little bit of definition. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. So what I'm going to do now, oh, dropping everything on the floor. I'm just going to go in with like, not as light as the base colour, but something fairly light, and I'm going to use this colour here called Dusk. And I'm just going to soften the end here, because what I'm trying to achieve is that like we've got lots of colour here and then it gradually fades off. Does that make sense? So I'm just like rubbing it across the end of that eyeshadow there, just so that it starts to fade off. just like that. Yes, Tiggy? Yeah, no, go for your life. And now we're just going to do the other eye. Again, I'm like taking it right into that eyebrow area. Just like that. Okay, so we've got a bit of fallout. That's okay. Because as I said before, remember, that's why I do my face later on, after I do my eyeshadow, and I've forgotten to do my sunscreen again. The struggle's real. Anyway, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cut the crease, and then we're going to start placing shadows along here. Again, I'm going to have to go off and grab a few more brushes, so I'll be back with you in just a minute. Okay, so I've just gone and grabbed a whole heap of brushes that I would like to use, and we're going to cut the crease with foundation. It's a Revolution foundation. It's called Conceal and Define, and I've only just recently discovered, like within the last couple of days, that it's really good for cutting creases and stuff. So it's what I'm using at the moment. I normally use the P. Louise base. Sadly, I've run out of that just recently. So as you can see, I'm just patting it along the lash line, and I'm just going to sit back. This is a little trick. Tuck your chin into your neck and try and look up at the ceiling, and then roll your eye, because then it gives you like the natural crease, if that makes sense. Like it will print a little line up there. Usually it will, but hang on a minute. We'll get some more product along there and see what happens. Okay, so just going to start in the corner here, and I'm just patting it. I'm just kind of patting it around the shape of my eye socket, but I'm taking it up higher than what I normally would. As you can see, it's like going right up here. Because with this open crease, I want to have like a definite void area here between the two sections of eyeshadow. Now I'm just going to make this a lot more curved and rounded now that I've patted in the basic shape. And so you end up with a shape like that. Now what you do, just pat in the foundation or concealer or whatever you are using into that area there. And I'm just making sure that everything's nice and crisp and even. Now I'm just going to grab my little sponge again and just even it out a bit. Once again, this is a dry sponge, not a damp one, because we're not blending, we're actually just distributing a product. And now you can see it's a lot more even. And I'm just going to run it right along that edge there and out, because that's the area where we're going to be putting our eyeshadow in a minute, just in here. Just to the edge of my eyebrow there. Like that. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead off camera and do the other eye, and then we're going to come back and place some eyeshadows. Okay, so as you can see, we've got our shape, and I know it looks a bit clownish right now, but it will all make sense once we start to add the other colours and also the glitter, because the glitter is actually like used as a bridge to connect the two areas, if that makes sense. So now I'm just grabbing an angle brush, because what we're gonna essentially be creating is like an eyeliner shape along the eyelid and up this way. Now I'm wondering if I should have some black then, because then I wouldn't have to do eyeliner later on. You know what though, I'm going to do this chocolate brown here, because excuse me, I think that would be like quite good with the colour profile. So I'm just starting at the middle of my lash line, and I'm just brushing it back towards the tape, and each time I'm moving forward to the inner corner of my eye, so that my colour starts where my lashes start, if that makes sense. Now I'm just going to thicken this line up a little bit, just so it gives that like winged effect, if that makes sense. And I'm just going to take it right up to the top there. And I'm just going to straighten that up a bit, because it just looks a bit wobbly and wiggly. Like that. And I'm just going to pack some more colour in there. So that we've got like a great big long tail that comes up this way, if that makes sense. Oop. I only just got this brush yesterday, and it's a bit bashed around, to be honest. Like the bristles are a bit bent, because when I actually got the package, it was all squished up and the bottom end of it was ripped out. So the box was like hanging open, and some of the things inside, even though nothing was like damaged per se, they were still a bit banged about, so not really too impressed about that. But once I've used this brush once and wash it, it will probably go back into the original shape. So we'll just see what happens. Just running this down until it meets up with the other end. And just pack the colour along there, because we want lots of colour just there, because we want to be able to see it like that. So I've got my chocolate brown on. Now I think I might start adding some shimmer shades, because I normally do shimmer shades on the lid, and oh, I keep touching the mouse button with the back of the palette. Keeping to our Christmas theme, I think I'm going to go with this red colour here called Scarlet, and I'm just going to pack that along that like eyeliner shape that we've just done. So I'm just going to pat it right along here until it meets up with that tape again, and then like into this area here until it just tapers off at the end. Now I'm just going to kind of rub it across just to give some definition. And we will go back in with our dark colour in a minute, because it's just easier to blend everything if you do that. And I'm just going to pack in a bit more colour in there, like so. Now I'll just grab that brush again, and we'll just go back in with our dark brown. Like that. But I'm just going to use my blending brush, and I'm just going to soften up the line in between the two colours just a little bit, like that. Now I've just grabbed a fluffy blender, and I'm just trying to decide what colour I want to do next. I think if we're following the Christmas theme, I'm going to have to do gold. So I'm just kind of brushing it along the edge of these colours that I've put here. It's like a foil metallic gold colour. And I'm just taking it right into that inner corner area there, and right up to like where the tape ends. Now, once again, I'm just going to go back in with my previous colour, the red, and just make sure that we can still see it. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead off camera, and I'm going to do the other eye, and then we're going to come back and do glitter, which is going to be really fun. Okay, everyone. So now is my favourite part, putting the glitter on, because everyone knows that I'm a glitter obsessed person. So I've just got like a sponge applicator. I just use this to press the glue onto my eyelid, because I've found in the past that if you try to brush it across with a brush, you end up like disturbing where you've put the colour. I've got like a rubber spatula that I use to apply glitter with, and I've just got a little sponge smudger so that if I want things in a particular area, I can just pinpoint it to there. So I recently got this new glitter primer or glitter glue or whatever you would like to say. Absolutely amazing. And it came from the same company that I got the Santa glitter from. So if you would like to know about the glitter primer, glue, or the actual glitter itself, drop me a comment. So what I'm doing is I'm sponging the glitter into that void area there that connects the two areas of colour. And also I'm just sponging it right over that eyelid area. Okay, so I'm just going to grab a tissue and wipe the excess glitter glue off the back of my hand because I always squeeze out too much. And because I've only been using this for a couple of days, I haven't yet discovered that a little bit goes a really long way. So I'm just going to open this because it's in a stack. And first of all, we're going to use this really fine red glitter. And I'm going to use it to define that line there. So I'm just using my rubber spatula. And as you can see, when you dip it in, the glitter just adheres. I think it's static electricity or something like that. I don't know. So I'm just pressing it right along that line there. Like so. Just a little bit more towards the end there. Like that. And so now I'm going to start adding in a few more colours in the theme. So because we've got that gold colour along here, I'm going to use a gold as well because that will connect the two areas to each other. So again, I'm just pressing in my spatula, as you can see, and I'm just pressing it along where the two regions join, if that makes sense. And I'm just using a bit because I'm actually going to layer a couple of different colours in there, like that. Now, I'm making sure I'm putting all the lids on them because I don't want to knock it over and for it to fly absolutely everywhere. So now I'm using like a white reflective glitter. It looks like little snowflakes type of thing. And I'm actually taking it right along where I've placed both the red and the gold glitter. And I'm just using it to kind of blend everything in, if you can see that. Now I'm going to place my last colour because we don't want to go crazy. And I'm going to place a contrasting colour. Still a Christmas colour, but I'm going to place this amazing peacock green type of colour. Like, it's just amazing. So I'm actually going to do this one underneath and kind of through where the other glitters start. Just like that. Okay? So I'm just going to go off camera and do the other eye. And then when we come back, we're going to pull off the tape and you're going to see. I always call this is where the magic happens. And it is because you see that nice crisp line that you've created with the tape. So I'll just be back in 2 seconds. Okay, everyone. So I had a few issues before with the glitter. It's just that it's really, really hot today. and so I've put the glitter glue on, but it was actually drying a little bit quicker than I expected, so I just had to go ahead and do some more glue and stuff like that. Anyway, let's take this tape off so that we can see our nice crisp line. See, I love it when that happens because it just makes everything look so much better. Amazing. So I'm going to go and start loading this video onto my channel because it's probably going to take a while. And if you want to see a photo of this finished look, drop me a comment and I'll catch you guys in the new year.